What's up, YouTube? Adam here with PTSD and Depression.com. How's it going? As you can see, I'm chilling out in my hammock right now. So I got a question for you. Are you a fellow hammock hanger? You're currently sleeping in your hammock full time. If you're not, I'm assuming you must be thinking about it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about my experience. I've been sleeping in a hammock full time for over a year now. We'll go over some comfort things that I've figured out in this video, so stay tuned. So far my experience with sleeping in a hammock has been nothing but amazing. I sleep 1,000% better. My overall health, I feel like, has improved dramatically. I used to have a lot of back pain, and that back pain has gone away 100% completely, and every time I go and sleep in a bed, it's just a horrible experience. Now, I will never ever go back. I've actually got 2 backup hammocks right now, so when this one finally dies, which is still going strong, there aren't even any tears in it or anything. This is a double hammock, by the way. Cats love it. I've even got a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, there's like some cat claws. And this thing, like, I have cats sleeping with me on a daily basis. We do a lot of fostering, and the foster cats love this hammock. I am not home right now. I'm traveling, and I take my hammock with me basically wherever I go. If I'm staying in a house, I will set it up just like this. You'll see it's pretty long, so it's not ideal for certain places. If I can't sleep in a house, I will put it up in my van, and I will sleep in there. I've had that set up for quite a long time. I actually have another hammock that I use while I'm in the van, but this is the one it's a year old. It was only $20, and it's worked great so far. The stand was about $50, and I'll have a link in the description. I will also have a link to my blog where I write about my experience. You can see my van, and so you can check that out. So what I want to do is I want to go over some of the things that I've kind of figured out while doing this. Number one, you'll notice I didn't even tie anything, so there's no knots you have to worry about. Like, this is how I bought it, and it works perfectly fine. It's 2 notches down. 2 notches down. I don't even have there's these, and it looks like they fell on the floor. These things right here. I don't even have them in right now because I'm not staying here for that long. Normally I'd put those in. I've actually slept with it for quite a long time before without them, and it does kind of bend the metal a little bit right here, but it's not that big of a deal. But normally you just use these and have them stuck in there. Let's see. So for sleeping, there are plenty of videos on how to sleep in the hammock, but what I'm going to go over is how to be comfortable in the hammock, because I honestly haven't watched that many videos. This is just what I figured out. So what I have is I have 2 sleeping bags. I have one which is like an Arctic one, and this is for when it's cold. And then I have a light version for when it's not as cold. I actually had to swap to that one last night because the air conditioning was so cold in here that I started to get a little freezer bum last night, so I switched out this one. And so what I do is, for a pillow, I will alternate whichever one I'm not using, I use as a pillow. And rather than bunching it all up and using it completely like a pillow, I'll kind of throw it over and then rest my head in it, laying down. And that works perfectly fine. It's a lot more comfortable when there's just a little bit of padding underneath your head. It's more for just like, so you're not rubbing up against this stuff, because it's a little hard when you're you're just laying on the nylon. The longest time I just slept in this, normally nothing else other than my sleeping bags. But after about, I don't know, it was probably like 6 months into it, I started to like, all of a sudden there was like a tight tension point in here, and it started to bother me a little bit. So I didn't want to give up sleeping in the hammock. So what I did is I took a pillow and I used the pillow underneath my legs. For those of you who are thinking, well, I am married, and my wife and I do sleep apart, and that's not a bad thing. We both love it because it's actually not that great having to sleep with someone. Yeah, it's all nice when you're all nice and cuddly, blah blah blah, but eventually, you know what? I want to sleep by myself because it's just, you get better sleep, and when you're both apart and getting good sleep, your overall relationship is just way better. So this whole sleeping together stuff is underrated, and you absolutely can have sex in a hammock, and it's actually you know it's fun. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, that's my experience. So